We're going to go back to 1975, 2 years before the release of Star Wars. And that's when the first concept art from the film was shown to the public. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you, and this is for Tom with a whole new video. So, what are we going to talk about today? What could it be exciting, right? Well, we're going to go back in time and look at Star Wars before 1977. I'll call this video maybe The Road to 77. We're going to look at Star Wars merchandise and maybe items that Lucasfilm or 20th Century Fox used or crew items leading up until the release of Star Wars May 25th, 1977. Before we get on the road to 77, if you'd like to support this channel, head over to patreon.com, become a Patreon supporter, get some exclusive content, video early, and just hang out and talk with other fans of this YouTube channel and Star Wars toys and more. And support us at thatjunkman.com by buying a cool t-shirt like this shirt that I wore in my last video, KB Toys. Check it out. We got a lot of shirts there. Now, let's hit the road to 1977. Production on Star Wars started March 22nd, 1976. Then, the movie was titled The Star Wars. No one at this time in 1976 could have ever dreamed what a success Star Wars would be. Not just a big hit movie, but how it would change pop culture, change the course of filmmaking, and actually change the world. It was set for release of December 1976. Now before that release, 20th Century Fox wanted to get a buzz going. They had to start building hype. They couldn't just release a movie with no hype, so even before the film started filming in March, Lucas Limited and 20th Century Fox started working on icons for the movie, fonts for the movie, letterheads for the movie, things like that. And one of the earliest Star Wars related items ever made was a sticker bearing the graphic of the film title, The Star Wars. And we can see here the font used for this sticker is a lot different than the common font that we think of when we think Star Wars. The figure on the sticker was Luke Skywalker, but it was based on a Ralph McQuarrie concept art, not the actor Mark Hamill, who at this time wasn't cast. The stickers were mostly used by the film crew. Now this sticker was never officially released to the public, but it did make it out to collectors' hands, as Star Wars producer Gary Kurtz would pass these out at film conventions, science fiction conventions, or pass them out to anyone he could. But when did the public get their first look at Star Wars? Can you believe it or not? We're going to go back to 1975, 2 years before the release of Star Wars. And that's when the first concept art from the film was shown to the public. Star Wars was featured in the 20th Century Fox's annual book of upcoming films. The small blurb about the upcoming Star Wars made it to the very last page, and as you can see here, "The" was dropped from the title. According to this write-up, the movie is about the adventures of Luke Starkiller. This little magazine went out to mostly Hollywood insiders, and people back then really didn't think to keep it. Who would have thought Star Wars would be a big hit, so big they would want to keep a little magazine with one little small page in the back of the magazine about the movie. So these are really hard to find on the collector's market. Most of them got trashed after the Hollywood insiders flipped through the magazine to see what movies were coming. By the late 1975, a new Star Wars font was designed. This iron-on was mostly used for crew shirts, but made its way to the collector's market, thanks again to Gary Kurtz. Also at this time, a new Star Wars header stationery was starting to be used. Still showing the concept art of Luke Skywalker, and now a new, bigger Star Wars font. A crew patch was also made around the same time for the film crew. In the summer of 1976, a few months into production of the film, the public got their first chance to buy Star Wars merchandise. In this concept art, Luke Skywalker has now been redone to show Luke looking more like the actor Mark Hamill. Only 1,000 of these were printed up and sold at the 1976 Worldcon in Kansas City, and it was also sold that year at the Comic-Con in San Diego. The design of the poster was done by comic illustrator Howard Kagan. Now these posters were mostly given away free at both of these cons, along with some other items that year. Also given away at the 1976 convention was a two-sided flyer outlining the film's plot. Star Wars was also featured in the Worldcon program guide. In that guide, "The" is still used in the title. Star Wars actor Mark Hamill would also appear at the con to talk Star Wars and help build up hype. During his time at Worldcon, he did his very first interview about Star Wars for Rocket Blast Comic Collector. However, that interview would not be released until October 1977, months after the release of the film. Star Wars was running behind schedule, and the film moved from its December release date to May 1977. But the novel to Star Wars was still released in December of 1976. The first edition cover was printed by Ralph McQuarrie. The Star Wars font was again changed. The font also is seen at the end of the first teaser trailer that was also released in December 1976.
Somewhere in space, this may all be happening right now. 20th Century Fox and George Lucas, the man who brought you American Graffiti, now bring you an adventure unlike anything on your planet. Star Wars.
Here they come.
The first trailer ran close to 2 minutes and featured a non-John Williams score, as John Williams would not come to write the score for Star Wars until March 1977.
It's a big, sprawling space saga of rebellion and romance. It's a spectacle, light years ahead of its time.
I am C-3PO, human cyborg relations, and this is my counterpart, R2-D2.
Hello.
It's an epic of heroes.
Good luck.
And villains. And aliens from 1,000 worlds. Star Wars, 1 billion years in the making, and it's coming to your galaxy this summer.
Some of the theaters that were running the Star Wars teaser trailer in December 1976 received Star Wars buttons for employees to wear or to give away to guests. For the button, we get yet another logo font, one that would be seen more often until the release of the film. December 1976 was a big year for promoting Star Wars. Not only did you get the teaser trailer and the free buttons at your local theater if you were lucky, also at the theater you got to see the Star Wars poster. This was just a plain, simple Star Wars poster with text telling people that Star Wars was coming out this summer. This poster gave Star Wars an event feel. It really hyped up the movie fans, at least science fiction fans, of a movie you had to see in the theater. Also given out to theaters was a campaign book, which came with full color images from the film inside a white box. This book would later be released to the public in 1977. So in December we got the trailer, we got the buttons, we got the poster, and theaters got a little booklet telling all about Star Wars. But there was one more place to find an ad for Star Wars in December 1976. Those Star Wars ads started appearing in trade magazines, letting insiders know Star Wars would be released in Dolby encoded 7mm and 35mm prints. Media Magazine released their exclusive look at Star Wars for their November-December 1976 issue. The magazine featured much of the artwork by McQuarrie and an interview with Roy Thompson about the upcoming Star Wars Marvel comic series. It also gave fans a look at the opening scene storyboard. Other magazines would soon run their Star Wars issues also, such as American Film, Sight and Sound, and Fantasy magazines. At the beginning of 1977, 20th Century Fox would release yet another Star Wars poster, although it looked a lot like the one that came out in December. This poster again was all text, telling us the movie was coming this summer. However, the Star Wars logo was changed to the more familiar logo used today. Also in early 1977, a second poster was released, also with just text, but this time we were given the famous opening tag a long time ago. And for the first time we got the official release date, May 25th, 1977. Also early in 1977, street advertisements started to hit for Star Wars. One of these was just the title of the film, but the other had the title with the teaser, An Entertainment Odyssey to the Edge of Your Imagination and Beyond. In March of 1977, Marvel would release the first issue of their Star Wars comic book series. This first issue was a retelling of about the first 20 minutes of the film. In April, a month before the official release of the film, 20th Century Fox released a press booklet. This book included 19 pages of blurbs, articles, and bios. Also in April, a full-page ad would run in Rolling Stone magazine. And back during this time, not only did you get TV spots on television and trailers in the movie theater, you also got trailers on your radio. As TV spots were starting to air across the nation, 20th Century Fox sent out to radio stations 30 to 60-second commercials on a 45 RPM record.
Don't be alarmed. It's only a laser sword fight. Don't be scared. It's only the Death Star destroying another world. Relax. It's only a movie, and it's all for fun. Director George Lucas and 20th Century Fox present Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Now in April of 77, we got a press book release, but also that same month, 20th Century Fox released a press kit to the media. This press kit came in a navy blue folder with the title printed on the cover. Inside was advertising materials, glossy stills, production information guide, a cast bio, scene information, and color slides. The first ad for Star Wars to appear in a newspaper was May 15th, 1977, just weeks before the official release. It was an epic 2-page spread. The artwork was done by Tommy Gunn. This same artwork will also be used for a program book and a half-sheet poster. You'll notice on these early releases, the art is missing R2-D2 and C-3PO. However, George Lucas insisted the droids be part of the promotion, and they were both added in. Now, the press was the first ones to get to see Star Wars. Those lucky bastards. And those lucky ones, part of the press, that got to see Star Wars early, was sent a press kit and a preview ticket for a pre-screening of Star Wars in Los Angeles or New York. One of the press writers to get a preview ticket was Steven Sansweet, who would go on to head up Lucas's film Fan Relations and open up his own ranch to show off his massive Star Wars collection. Around this same time, there was also screenings for charity and screenings for the cast and crew. At the cast and crew screenings, they were rewarded with a glass Star Wars paperweight. And then May the 25th, 1977 came, and the film industry, the toy industry, pop culture, everything in life changed. Although the May 25th release date was only in selected cities, by the summer of 1977, Star Wars was playing at almost every local theater, and it stayed at most local theaters for over a year. Fans of the movie would compete with their friends to see who could see Star Wars at the theater the most times. Now, this was a look at the Star Wars history before May 25th, 1977. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, please thumb up so I know you like my content, so I'll know what kind of videos to make more of. And in the comments below, let me know. Do you remember Star Wars before it was released? Do you even remember a time before we knew what Star Wars was? Again, let me know in the comments below. And Fred is going to take us out of here.
Don't be alarmed. It's only the death breath of the Dark Lord. Don't be scared. It's only an Imperial cruiser making the jump to light speed. Relax. It's only a movie, and it's all for fun. Director George Lucas and 20th Century Fox present Star Wars. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.